Welcome back. This afternoon, we're following new screening guidelines for cervical cancer. It was once the most common cause of cancer for women, but preventative care and screenings have turned those stats around. So here's what's changing in the screening process.
First, the bad news. In the U.S. this year alone, it's estimated that more than 13,000 new cases of invasive cervical cancer will be diagnosed, and more than 4,000 women will die from the disease. But the good news is those numbers have dropped dramatically over the years, but not everywhere.
There's wide disparities in this country amongst cervical cancer rates, and particularly in rural areas, and particularly in the rural South, we continue to see many women presenting to physicians with advanced cervical cancer.
That's why the American Cancer Society is releasing these new guidelines today for cervical cancer screening aimed at reducing deaths from the disease. While the traditional method of a pap smear every 5 years remains the preferred screening method, there's now an acceptable option for women at average risk who don't want a pelvic exam. Taking one of 2 FDA-approved self-collection tests is now recommended every 3 years, as long as the results are negative through age 65.
We know particularly if it's difficult to make an appointment, some women may have privacy concerns initially. So we do think having the ability to have FDA-approved tests every 3 years for self-collection is a wonderful other option.
For women older than age 65 who have had adequate prior screening and not otherwise at high risk, screening is no longer recommended by the organization.
If you're at higher risk because you have HIV disease, you have immunosuppression, your screening should be done with the work through a physician.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Little heads up here. If you're out in Minneapolis tomorrow and you see a bunch of people running in red underwear, don't worry. It's the Aliveness Project's annual Red Undie Run. Race kicks off at noon from Tom's Watch Bar. They've already raised nearly $60,000 to help those living with HIV and AIDS in our community. Today, Pantone Color Institute naming its color of the year for 2026. I don't know how they do this, but this is what they came up with. Color of the year is Cloud Dancer. Cloud Dancer. The organization says the 2026 color is, quote, a billowy, balanced white imbued with a feeling of serenity. Cloud Dancer. According to Pantone's executive director, Cloud Dancer also symbolizes a desire for a new start. The organization says it makes decisions based on current cultural references. Pantone, which forecasts trends and advises brands, has been naming a color of the year since 1999. Well, the holiday season's a busy time for retailers. That includes small business in Northeast Minneapolis focused on spreading cheer year-round. Here's Heidi Wigdahl with this week's Behind the Business.
I need to make this sticker sheet.
There are so many different ways to create.
What kind of brush am I using?
Arlie Tempest touches on the cute, the cozy, and the magical.
I'm very into the maximalism, the dopamine decor. I think, life's short. Why not have more color?
And why not have a fun glass?
The strawberry frog glass.
You look forward to using every day.
This bookish glass is a favorite. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I make is sort of a bit of a rejection of kind of very minimalist, basic things that I was seeing a lot in stores.
Now it's her products in stores like the Dayton's Holiday Market at Southdale Center. Cheerwear started as a side hustle during the pandemic. In 2021, it turned into a full-time business.
I had a couple things sort of take off on TikTok, and after that I was like, I have to try and see if I can make this work. And here I am, still making it work. Straws.
Cheerwear moved into this Northeast Minneapolis studio in the Thorpe building back in October.
It's pretty peaceful.
The hope is to set up a storefront here in the spring.
The idea is that everything in here should make you cheerful and happy.
From the cups to the straws and lids.
The fact that we have 100 pending orders just feels really, really crazy and surreal sometimes. So it just makes me feel so thankful that people have me in mind. I don't know.
It's Arlie's way of spreading cheer, helping make home your happy place. In Minneapolis.
So cute.
Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
Hey, it's a big weekend for the Journey to Milan. Major qualifying events happening right now around the world, including in ski mountaineering, curling, and figure skating. Right now, Team USA's Madison Schock and Evan Bates are leading the pack at the ISU Grand Prix final. looking for their third consecutive title in Japan. Skating continues this morning and goes through Sunday. It's on Care and on Peacock. Then over to Kelowna, BC. Our curling hopefuls are working to punch their ticket to Milan. This is the schedule for Team Casper's matches this weekend. You may remember they're the ones who dethroned Team Schuster in Sioux Falls. First up is Japan. That's tomorrow, 11 o'clock Central. Good luck. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.